In this video, I'm going to take you to San Francisco's St. Francis Wood neighborhood. I'm going to show you everything that you need to know if you're thinking about moving here. I'm going to break down the housing costs, the good, the bad, the overall vibe, pretty much what you need to know if you're thinking about moving here. I have so much information packed into this video, just like all my neighborhood videos. And this will be the only video that you need to watch to get everything that you need to know about living in St. Francis Wood. St. Francis Wood is on the southwest side of San Francisco. It's just south of West Portal and just east of the One. It feels like a gated community, but there are no gates. It feels very upscale, sophisticated, very private and secluded. It's one of the few San Francisco neighborhoods with no businesses. It is purely residential. Its wide and winding streets are lined with cypress and eucalyptus trees. The big front yards and landscaped parks make you feel like you're in the suburb miles away from a big city. There's no visible utility lines. Everything is underground. There's tennis courts. There's playgrounds. The homes are detached. They're on large lots. It's very safe, quiet, feels very prestigious. And none of this sounds like San Francisco, but it is. To have something like this, you usually have to be an hour away from a major city, but you're only minutes away from downtown. The type of architecture you're going to find here is Spanish Mediterranean, like this home right here that sold for $6.75 million in 2021. You're also going to find a lot of Tudors like this one. This one here sold for $5 million in 2022. You're also going to find a lot of colonial revival homes. This one here sold for $3 million back in 2023. There are not a lot of active listings in St. Francis Wood. You're only going to see a couple at a time, one here, two here. 3 is the max that you've seen over the last few years. And if you compare that to all of San Francisco, there's over 300 listings that you're going to see citywide, countywide in San Francisco. But only 2 or 3 of them are going to be in St. Francis Wood. The median sale price in St. Francis Wood is going to be about $4.3 million, much higher than the entire county as a whole, which right now is at about $1.6 million. This is for single family homes. Niche.com gives it an A. It is very close to the best public schools in San Francisco. So it's an A-. Housing a C+, probably because there's just not a lot of housing here. It is not dense at all. Every single family home here has big, wide lots that are all detached. So that's probably why they're getting a bad grade there. Obviously good for families, great for jobs. Cost of living, we just looked at the median sale price. So that's why the cost of living is so bad. A lot of outdoor activities. I'm going to take you to all the parks. We're really close by a couple of great public parks, and then there's a couple of HOA private parks too. Travel time downtown to the financial district is going to be 20 to 40 minutes. That is in the worst of traffic. So I set this up for a 9 a.m. arrival time on a Monday. So 20 to 40 minutes drive time. It's actually a lot easier to get to SFO from St. Francis Wood than it is downtown. That's only going to take 15, 25 minutes. St. Francis Wood was developed after the 1906 earthquake with the idea of creating a private residential master plan community with aesthetic harmony. In the US at the time, there was a new concept gaining traction known as the City Beautiful movement, which emphasized aesthetic and functional quality of urban areas. And the Civic Center here in San Francisco was the first public manifestation of the beautiful city movement that hit the Bay Area. But it was here in St. Francis Wood that the concept was first successfully applied to residential planning. All the streets were laid out to conform the land's natural topography. All utility wires and infrastructures were placed underground. There were many developmental restrictions on the type and quality of construction. Apartment houses, grocery stores, laundries, saloons were all not allowed. And balconies and overhanging extensions which blocked the neighbor's view or sunlight were prohibited. Each home was required to sit at least 15 feet back from the sidewalk, and there were minimum standards for construction material. By 1925, there were 500 families living in St. Francis Wood, and it was being used as a model for other residential areas as far away as Kansas City. A top German city planner even came out to study St. Francis Wood and described it as the most distinguished residential neighborhood, not just in California, but in the US. If you're new here, my name is Eric Thrum. I'm a realtor here in San Francisco. If you're looking for an agent that not only owns real estate in San Francisco, but works, lives, plays, eats, sleeps, and breathes the city, check the description below for all of my contact information. I meet a lot of my new clients here on YouTube and on TikTok, and I look forward to working with you as well. Here are all the private HOA parks that are located in St. Francis Wood. And then after that, I'm going to show you the West Portal Playground that's about 5 minutes away, and Mount Davidson Park that's also about 5 minutes away. Here is the walk score data. It is a 93 walk score, and that's because West Portal is so close by. And here's some B-roll of West Portal. This is a great spot. Got a ton of top restaurants in San Francisco and a whole lot more. And here's a more detailed look at the walk score. Great dining, like I said, grocery stores we just looked at, a lot of great shopping nearby. The parks we talked about, we're next to the top schools in San Francisco. This is one of the foggiest neighborhoods in San Francisco. If you're new to my channel, I've made a couple weather videos that talk about the entire city. Basically, the far west end of San Francisco is the cloudiest, and then the far east end is the sunniest, and then there's a middle strip where it's kind of moderate. This one lands more on the western side, a little bit central, right in the middle there on the south side. So it does get it gets pretty gloomy and cloudy here relative to other neighborhoods in San Francisco. Here is the elevation data, the hill data. It's pretty flat here, probably why they picked this location to develop here. Once you start getting up into the Twin Peaks neighborhoods, Diamond Heights, those are the neighborhoods that took a lot longer to build. The technology wasn't quite there at the turn of the century after the earthquake, so had to wait for mid-century post World War II before they really figured out how to build up there in that high elevation area. But that's not the case here in St. Francis Wood. It's relatively flat here compared to the rest of San Francisco. Here is the noise index. Now, it's not as quiet as a normal suburb that would be an hour away from a big city, but relative to San Francisco, it is very quiet here. So I already kind of covered a lot of the negatives, the bads. Basically, it's very isolated here. There's no shops. You do have to walk 5-10 minutes away. Cafes, restaurants, they're relatively close by, but for San Francisco standard, a lot of folks just really expect to just walk out their door and have like multiple options to go grab coffee or brunch or whatever. It may feel a bit too quiet or sterile if that's not what you're looking for. So if these are not the things that you want to live near or be around, then this neighborhood is probably not for you. Thank you so much for watching this video. My name is Eric Throm. I'm a realtor here in San Francisco with City Real Estate. All of my contact information is in the description if you'd like to connect. Thank you again for watching, and I hope to hear from you soon.